Hey everybody, it's Steve. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up on this episode. We had a little bit of a video encoding issue with the video on this. It's nothing like the Tombstone episode previously, nothing that bad. But in the middle of the episode, we will lose video. But the beginning and end has video, if that makes sense. So there's going to be a little bit of a drop in video. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up if you are watching this on YouTube. But I hope you still enjoy the show. Thank you. In the month of May, Streaming Things is brought to you by Chester Copperpot, Stanton Valentino, Will Nash, Alan Tomlinson, Wendy O'Laughlin, Jason Hawkins, Matthew Amerson, Trey Barrera, Conrad, Luke and Sarah, David Malfara, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Jose Ruben Cruz Rodriguez, Alexis Adler, Thomas Alexander, Emmy, Joe Velez, Abby Vollmer, Valerie, Aaron Layton, Amanda King, Sun Loving Mortal, Andrew Gray, Jen Robinson, Kate, Chloe Richardson, Kalisha Reeves, Kiki Newton, Kevin Sturther, Jeanette Murphy, Casey McCain, and Enza. Welcome back. My name is Chris.
My name's Madison.
And I'm Steve. Actually, keen-eyed viewers and keen-eared listeners will realize that was not Chris at the top. That was me. I'm a liar. Chris is not here today, Madison.
What the fuck?
That's right. Chris is not here.
Where is Chris?
He is a worldwide phenomenon on TikTok. TikTok. So he's out gallivanting and hobnobbing with some real Hollywood stars.
I know. Basically walking the red carpet right now
Basically,
without us.
He sent me a photo earlier today of him in a red suit jacket, which looks super fancy. So our boy's going places. So he is unfortunately not here today. But we do have something very special for you guys. Madison, what is that?
A good old Madison and Steve shooting the spoof.
Shooting the spoof.
Which may or may not have been a spontaneous thing that we just came up with.
Yeah, if you guys have listened to the show for a long time, when it was Chris, Andy, and I, when Andy wasn't there, it was a classic Chris and Steve mess around. When Chris was gone, Andy and I would do a just creaming it. So when it's just Madison and I,
we're just shooting the spoof.
Just shooting the spoof, my guys. Shoot that spoof.
Oh, I will. I'll be spoofing it up.
Well, we got an action-packed episode for you guys today. After a long hiatus, well, an extra week-long hiatus between episodes. Yeah,
really long though.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. When I started this week's episode of Yellow Jackets, I kind of was like, "Well, what's happening?
What's happened?"
I got there, but in the beginning, I kind of had a oh no,
right?
I don't quite remember.
Yeah, no, I definitely needed the recap section at the beginning of the episode for this one, but yeah. Do we want to dive in?
Yeah, we can dive in. But before we do that, I do just have to point out, Madison, that's an amazing shirt you got going on there.
Thank you. You can get it at streamingthings.com.
Well, you can get it at our website where we sell merch, which you can find in the show notes of either YouTube or whatever podcast provider you're having. You can also get this jacket that I'm wearing, the Buzz yellow jacket.
And then do you want to Superman it real quick and show them what else you can get?
The actual Streaming Things merch.
Nice.
Now I gotta button it back up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I just wanted a little show. Sorry.
Hey, you know what? We can all do a little bit of show.
Yeah.
From time to time, you need it. If you're listening, I'm sorry you don't get to see that show, but just listen to this.
Oh, the button.
That's a button snapping back on.
Yeah, it is.
Well, without further ado, let's dive in to this week's episode of Yellow Jackets Season 2, Episode 6, titled Key?
So I said Kwai because I was thinking Qui-Gon Jinn. Is that not how?
There's always a bigger fish.
They had to call Liam Neeson to make sure they could use this title for the episode.
As you do.
Right. But yeah, I kept calling it Kwai. I also looked it up on Google, and I think it means who.
Hello?
Hello? Who? But let me double check that.
Yeah, interesting title. It's one of those titles that isn't it's not very obvious at the jump, right? Because I don't even know if they say that word at all throughout the episode. It's not a typical bear down situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're definitely going like a little highbrow with this episode as well. This is definitely probably the most high concept episode that they've come up with so far. Before we actually get into the breakdown, what are your general thoughts overall about the episode in general? How did you feel it?
I think coming off of the 2-week hiatus, obviously I was very excited to jump into this episode. I don't think it's one of my favorites, but I think it has one of my favorite collection of scenes, which I'm sure everybody kind of knows what we're talking about. It was
Misty in purple flannel.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah. No, I think the whole birthing scene, just that collection of scene itself was essentially that was like the main section of this episode, and everything to me felt like it took a back seat, which is fine. And I think it needed to in order to kind of heighten the element of Shauna giving birth. It's not my favorite episode, but I had a really, really good time with this episode. And I think, again, a lot of other things took a back seat this episode, but I think the next episode is going to be equally, if not as crazy. So, yeah.
But generally positive.
Yeah.
But just not your favorite episode so far?
Not my fave, yeah.
I think that's fair.
What did you think?
I think I'm in the same boat as you. I think I might be a little bit more positive on it than you are, perhaps. Not to say that you're negative at all, but like I did like this episode a lot. I can tell that this is definitely kickstarting into, we're getting into the final stretch of this season, as it were. This is the beginning of the end, I feel like, for this season. Because we only have, 3 more episodes? There's 7, 8, 9?
9, yeah.
Yeah, so we only have 3 more episodes. The end of the road is in sight. I really think in episodes past, especially in this season, I have been struggling with coming up with buzzworthy performances per se, because not that everyone's doing a bad job. It's just there's so many people doing so many things. No one's really getting chances to stand out, right? They're just kind of like, oh, there's Ty's scene for the episode, right? But this episode, I thought there were several performances. Like, this is probably one of the better episodes where people were really kind of bringing it their all in every single scene. I feel like there's a ton of great stuff happening from top to bottom, acting wise, in this episode. So I really dug it. But you ready to dig in?
Let's dig in. Let's spoof it.
Just like a Jackie barbecue, we are about to dig into this smorgasbord.
Yes, we are.
Get ready to get spoofed. Is that gonna be
I love that.
Is that gonna be a catchphrase?
Get ready to get spoofed.
You're about to get spoofed, son. Oh no.
Get spoofed.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
We open up with what is probably every high school student's worst day of high school.
Man.
It's the health studies videos, right? The sexual ed videos. This one is specifically about pregnancy, which is apt considering what we're going to go through later on in the episode.
Yep.
But this scene brought me back because I think we all have a very specific memory of when we were in health class doing the sex ed studies, and he gets shown a video. Not everybody has the same video. It could be a pregnancy video. It could be an STD video, but everyone has a trauma bond over some video.
Yes. Which, when I watched this scene, I realized I never got a video in high school.
Really?
Yeah. Which is interesting because I do remember sex ed being a part of like the gym class curriculum. Like, I wasn't inside of a classroom. I was in my gymnasium.
Is the gym teacher giving you all this lessons?
Yes, my gym teacher gave us.
Coach Ben was giving you lessons?
No, not Coach Ben, another coach. But yeah, I don't know. My high school did it a weird way, but I think we're all fine, I guess. But
every gym teacher, when someone tells me like that they had a gym teacher in high school, I know this is very like painting with a broad brush, but I always think of a guy who's in his like later middle aged. He's got a gray t-shirt on that's a little too tight, and he's wearing blue gym shorts that are a little too short.
Yes.
With high socks. And he's just like, all right, kids, we're going to be doing laps today. So I'm just picturing that dude teaching young children about sex.
with a ginormous beer belly.
Yes.
So all of that, but just with a giant beer belly.
100%. Was that your gym teacher?
Yes.
Oh man.
But I loved this scene because we haven't seen these women in their like normal clothes like outside of the forest in a long time. So
yeah, that's true.
It was fun to have this be the opening and get kind of like a breath of fresh air of these actors in just kind of their day-to-day regular character lives. And I also wanted to point out, did they recast young Jeff?
I think they recast young Jeff and young Randy. Because I don't even that young Randy. That
Yikes.
is not a young
I
Randy.
was like, yikes. And then was Jeff blonde?
I don't believe he was blonde in the first few episodes of season 1. I think that's if it's not a completely different actor, they definitely dyed his hair.
I think
so
it has to be a completely different actor. Because I remember watching being like, they recasted those two people.
Yeah, I would not have thought they were those characters. And I think they specifically knew that because in the script, they're like, hey, Randy, quit being a dick. Randy. We all know who Randy is, right? Jeff.
Yeah.
But I did, to your point, we kind of see them being kids in high school. And I love the way that Jeff writes Shauna a note that's like, hey, I really love that tutoring session you did. You should do it multiple times with me later on today.
Yeah, and then making it insanely obvious that he's giving it to her. And then Shauna, I interpret it as her saving that rumor of like, oh, he's passing Shauna notes by saying Jackie likes this.
Poppies.
Yeah, to cover up, oh, he was asking about Jackie not complimenting Shauna.
Right. Which, to her, if you're trying to hide a secret, she's doing a good job of it.
Yeah, she is. Maybe her adult self, not so much. But,
yeah. But young Shauna was crushing it.
Yeah.
And then there's some stuff happening on the screen that everyone reacts to, but Misty is just laser focused. And she's like, Coach Ben, I got several questions. The first of many of which is just exactly how much blood is there on average?
Yeah.
I will be taking obscene amount of notes.
For when the plane crashes with all the team and one of them is pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Misty foreshadowed that shit.
In my high school, our video was an STD video that we all gave the nickname Blue Waffle.
No.
I won't go further.
No. Not the Blue Waffle.
The Blue Waffle.
If you're curious, ladies and gentlemen, you can look that up. But look at your own.
For your own mental health, don't.
Yeah. Wow.
We cut to the 90s. Shauna is going into labor with her wilderness baby.
Yes.
And it's a very harrowing situation. Everyone seems scared, but even Misty seems really frightened about what she sees going on down there.
Yeah.
Which is surprising.
I think, well, this is a moment, like moments after she's come back from Crystal falling off the cliff. Like, I think she's still processing all of that information.
I kind of forgot that was like right after, because she falls and then the blizzard ends up sweeping in and Shauna starts going into labor with Ty because they're also caught up in the blizzard. And this is right after. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah. So I think Misty is she's frazzled. She's not able to be fully focused on what's happening because she's so hung up on what happened to Crystal. And yeah, but it was for the first time, everybody's relying on Misty again, which in hindsight, Misty should be, envying all of that attention. But in this moment, she's like, I can't do it.
She can't enjoy it.
No.
Yeah. Which we find out why a little bit later on. Because at first I was kind of like, man, Misty is buckling under pressure. But then when she kind of explains why, it's like, oh, yeah, of course that would make sense why that would happen for her. But we cut to Misty in the modern day where she is checking into Lottie's wellness center. She needs to give up her phone to the orderly because Walter keeps calling her and he makes a note of that. I did like that Caligula is her phone wallpaper. And I like how the orderly's like, you need to give me that phone because phones keep us captive to other people's priorities. Deep, man. That hit me.
I know.
I was like, God damn.
He was like, something alluding to your all that matters or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
There's only one Misty in the world. You got to take care of her.
Right.
Got to take care of her, right? So they start walking in. Lottie is surprised to see Misty. And Misty kind of confronts her like, hey, where's Nat? I want to know where she is. Obviously, this is a IRS tax evasion scam.
Essentially threatening her, like, if you don't hand over Nat, I know all this is tax evasion.
I literally know where all the bodies are buried, bitch. All right? Where's my friend?
Yeah.
But Lottie ends the conversation by asking if she can stay a while, which surprises Misty a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Shauna, we cut to Shauna, Jeff, and Callie at their home. Shauna's on the phone with Kevin Tan. He wants them to come down for questioning. Not Shauna and Jeff. He wants Shauna and Callie.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
And can I just add, and there'll be several hints of this in this episode, but adult Shauna really is not my fave in this episode.
No.
She hasn't been for a while.
No.
And she really dropped the ball when she told Callie it would have been better if you had sex with Jay.
Yeah, it's messed up.
And I just was like, man, the teeter-tottering of my emotions towards this character has shifted tremendously to the bad side. And I'm really hoping for redemption towards the end of the season. Because right now I'm not happy with Shauna, adult Shauna right now.
Yeah, I know earlier in the season and last season as well, we kind of would talk about Shauna as sort of like this mafia don that was, on the surface, she doesn't look threatening at all, but really she's the most, threatening of all of them, right? Yeah. And I think that's still true, but also there was a little bit of a point of like Shauna's protecting her family and everything. But now she's starting to use her family.
Yeah.
Or at least not protecting her family, but protecting her role within the family, which is, not a great look. But Callie, I think, takes the wrong lesson from this exchange.
Yeah. But again, it's like, and we can dive more as we kind of, when it calls to it. But I think Callie is seeking this level of acceptance from her mom, which is why she's going down this rabbit hole of like wanting to do what her mom wants her to do.
Right.
But yeah, there have been some moments where I'm like, adult Shauna, girly, you're digging yourself a hole in my eyes right now. And
ice cold.
Yeah.
Ice cold.
You're dropping the spoof. I'm not
She's dropping the spoof.
I'm not appreciating it right now.
You got to grab that spoof, right? You don't let it go.
No.
Don't let it go.
No.
Guys, don't let spoof go. We cut back to Shauna in pain from her labor. Misty is still shell-shocked as all hell, but Akilah seems to be stepping up a little bit. She has a little bit of experience with baby deliveries because I guess her older sister has a baby. Yeah. But I mean, Akilah's stepping up.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, like, I feel like everybody's taking their turn getting in between Shauna's legs.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, fair.
There's a real rogues gallery of people making their line up through that. That shot where it's almost like a POV, out of Shauna's legs, looking at everybody looking in.
Which I made note of that. I love that shot. I feel like they haven't done a shot like that. And I thought it was really interesting that they did that. It was kind of like a fisheye style, right?
I like the shot too. There is one moment where I think the shot kind of gets betrayed slightly, and that's when, and we'll get to it, but it's when like Misty's specifically addressing Shauna.
Okay.
But the way it's shot, it looks like Misty's addressing Shauna's vagina, which isn't totally out of character for her, but it is a little weird. Yeah. Keep pushing.
Keep pushing. Vagina.
You're almost there, vagina.
But ultimately it's like Ty is being an insanely supportive friend during this whole experience. Like if I ever have to go through labor, I want Ty there. I want that specific person to be by my side. And Lottie is not saying the right shit right now.
No.
And Ty acknowledges this and tells Lottie to go away. Like, you need to go away. You're not helping at all.
Yeah, because Lottie's like, let's all get together. Everybody get together. Let's all share our hopes hands. And dreams. Yeah. And Mari's like, I hope Shauna doesn't die.
And Ty is like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Read the room, Mari.
God damn.
We all hope that Mari saying it out loud is not going to help.
God.
I love she says that and Shauna's like, am I going to die?
Yeah. Like, no, do not be fucking with the pregnant lady mental state right now.
But
Gosh.
fortunately, like you said, Ty is a great wing woman to have.
Yes.
A co-pilot, as it were, through pregnancy, a pregnancy co-pilot.
Yeah.
And she's like, everybody give Shauna some space.
Yeah. Get the fuck away.
Quit talking into her vagina. Just get away. This poor girl is going through some shit.
Yeah.
With
no epidural. Oh my goodness. I just thought about that. And it's been a minute because as we are still, as we come back into these scenes, you know, Shauna, like, it's still happening. Like, she's been in labor for a long, long time. Like, I can only imagine how much pain.
Yeah, at one point, Akila says that her sister started going into labor, but was in labor for like
a day and a half.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like I know people who were who have been in labor for like over 48 hours, like in my personal life, and that is just like, how did you do that?
I don't know. I have not experienced childbirth, and I'm still figuring out if I do or not. Probably not. But just seeing it on screen, it's intense and crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. There's a weird shot. This is totally unrelated because, like, I obviously I'm a guy. I can never know what this feels like.
Sure.
I only have movies to reference because I've never been in the room with someone like that either because I don't have kids of my own. But I'll never forget my brother. When he had his first daughter, I was really young. I think it was 9 when Olivia was born. And, but I remember shortly after she was born, he was kind of telling the story of his perspective. And I remember he said something specifically because she had a C-section.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, they were pulling her guts out and putting it on the table. And then when everything was done, they were just picking the guts back up and plopping them back in. And he was like, is that how they go back in? Like, I remember just that, like, that's what pregnancy can be. That sounds awful. So
when my mom gave birth to me and my brother, we were both C-sections. And my dad was telling me about the story of like, they would cut her open, take her like internal organs out, put it on a slab essentially, and then just put it back in because they'll form back up. They'll figure out where they're supposed to go. And I just am like, women are so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The fuck? You can just take our shit out and then put it back in and it knows where to go? Yeah. What? Wow.
Yeah, I will never understand dudes, who are like, oh, women can't blah, 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 blah. It's like, fuck off, man.
Shut the fuck up.
Women, like, just the small fact of being a woman, having to deal with like menstrual cycles and all that shit and pregnancy is like
period
awful.
Yeah.
Like very inconvenient. And I know dudes would be like the biggest babies about it if they ever had to experience an iota of that.
Oh, you're speaking the truth.
If dudes could have periods, there would be...
Oh, the world would be so different.
Yeah, there would be
so different.
Healthcare would be free.
Yes. Birth control would be everywhere.
They would be passing that shit out like Skittles.
Literally. My gosh. Speaking truth.
Oh, let's drop some truth bombs on it, Madison.
Let's do it.
Cut to the modern day. Natalie is shooting her rifle at the wellness center. She is affected mentally because she can't shoot anything, which is unusual for her.
And I was wondering why, because I couldn't remember what previous incident had happened. Was it just Misty being there?
Well, no, she confronted Lottie. Remember, she broke into Lottie's safe and like thought she had this smoking gun of like, you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You're tricking all these people. And then Lottie kind of shoots her down. And then together they did that kind of seance thing where she's like, close your eyes. Tell me what you see. What was the last time you saw Travis? I almost called him Adam. Oh,
different dude.
And they kind of lived that experience of like they brought the wilderness back with her, and it was her fault that Travis felt that way. Yeah. That whole like Nat was right.
Nat was right.
She was so right.
We brought it back with us.
We watched The Sixth Sense together, and she was like, Bruce Willis is dead. And I'm like, what? No, he's not.
What are you talking about?
And then the movie ended. She was right.
She was right the whole time.
He was dead the whole time.
Natalie can see the future.
Sorry to spoil The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, sorry. But no, she's okay. So she's mentally affected, and she's missing all of the beer cans that she has set up. Unlike her younger self, where she was, A1.
Bullseye, yeah.
hitting those suckers.
I think they were the honey jars. This
Were
time,
they?
just trying to shoot honey jars from them.
Okay. I wrote down beer cans, but they could have been the honey jars.
They look like nice mason jar-esque containers.
Okay.
I assume that would be those.
Well, that's true, because why would they have beer at a
That would be problematic.
rehab center?
Hey,
It's
the
like,
only way to
Natalie,
kick this
where'd you
addiction.
get those? Oh,
This is my Lottie's like, this is my secret stash. You won't believe
You
what
was-
these people tell me. But yeah, Nat says she feels guilty for killing the only person that she loved and who knew her. She blames herself for Travis's death because she's saying this to Lisa. Right,
Yeah.
that's her name, Lisa.
yeah. Lisa came over, trustworthy-ish because she, Natalie has a fucking gun in her hand, which I thought was
True.
very interesting. But yeah, Lisa comes over.
She already stabbed me. What else is she gonna
right,
do?
True. And Lisa is essentially trying to confront Nat about all of her feelings towards Travis and, how she's the reason that he's dead.
And she was there for her blow up with Lottie the night before, I assume.
Yes, I think so, right? 'Cause
Yeah, they were all there. I think like everyone was there because she made a very public show of it.
Yeah.
But Nat's like, hey, we did really fucked up shit to survive in the woods, but maybe we didn't deserve to survive. Deep.
Well, and she says the something in him, meaning Travis, is also in me, meaning her. And I have written in my notes, I'm like, what voodoo shit is happening?
What voodoo shit?
I know it's coming, but my gosh, when is it coming?
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so into the supernatural element of the show. Like, I really want there to be a thing. I want there to be some weird, creepy Cthulhu-esque god of the woods.
Which I feel like at this point they're leaning so much into it. That has to be the answer. I just hope it's presented to us very well.
Yeah, it's not super hokey.
Yeah. It's just like this little, I don't know. I was going to say,
I'm the god of the forest.
I'm the wilderness, baby.
Oh, hello. They all float down here. Ty and Van are in the video store, right? Like Van's getting ready to open
I took
up.
it as like Van is in her office. Ty comes in and asking why she didn't wake her up. And soon Ty realizes that, Van talked to her alter ego person.
Sleepy time Ty.
Sleepy time Ty. And Van is like, yeah, it told us that we need to go somewhere else and then the other Ty kissed Van. And I thought, spicy.
Yeah. Spicy. That's a spicy meatball.
Spicy meatball.
Yeah, we're not where we're supposed to be. And Van's like, I don't know what that means. It could be you and your wife, you and your boy. And Ty's like, you and me?
Oh.
You and me?
Oh.
Little something, you and me? And Van's like, nah, there's no us anymore.
I am so curious if they're ever going to explore what happened between the two of them.
Oh, they got to, right?
I feel like, maybe it'll be a season 3 side plot of a story of maybe young Jasmine Savoy Brown and Liv Hewson after the fact when they come back from the forest and, their characters and how they break up. But I'm very curious to see what happened between the two of them.
I love this pairing.
Oh,
Between the two
it's
of them.
so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I know I shouldn't be rooting for like, yay, divorce, separate, a child and their parents. But like, God damn it, if they don't have the chemistry, if I don't love those characters, nothing against Simone, but it's Van. Come on, it's Van.
Well, they have so much they have trauma history together. Like they experience something that, neither of their spouses can really understand. And no, is it okay? I might say something controversial.
Ooh,
but I think I like Ty and Van more than I do Misty and Walter. I feel like that's.
I don't know if that's controversial.
I think it is. I think some people will say it's controversial.
I think in some circles, maybe.
Okay.
I think most people, at least the listeners of our show, love.
And
no matter where love is happening, we're going to love it.
Yeah.
Whether that's Ty and Van or Walter and Misty. We love love.
We do love love. But no, I love them together. I think, and it was mentioned on the previous episode, but I love Lauren Ambrose as Van. I think that is a perfect casting.
There are a couple line deliveries she has that's so spot on. Who's the? I don't have her name in front of me, but the actress that plays Liv Hewson, young Van.
Yeah.
Like, because Liv Hewson has basically created this character in season 1. And now Laura Ambrose, is that her name?
Yes.
She's kind of like coming in, and like her delivery is like, oh, that's 100% just an older version of that character.
Yes.
She's nailing it.
And I saw an article titled, I didn't jump into it and I wish I did, but it's essentially complimenting those two actors on like how they were able to formulate this character into one. And I should have clicked on it and read it, but other people are recognizing that, you know, the transfer of that character's just whole likeness is in Lauren Ambrose's portrayal of Van. And it's so good. So good.
100%.
But okay, moving on. We went on a little tangent there.
That's a good tangent.
Yes.
Ty sees the late bills.
Yeah.
So she remember. Ty will remember that.
Yes.
Back to Shauna baby time. Misty is freaking out. Shauna says something feels weird, and she starts getting like blood on her hands, and Misty like cannot do this.
No.
Because I think this is a Lady Macbeth scene where like Misty's getting the blood on her hands from Shauna and is remembering like, oh, I killed Crystal accidentally, basically.
Yep.
And like out damn spot, you know, that whole Lady Macbeth thing. And so she nopes out.
Misty's like, I gotta go. Peace out.
Peace out. Have fun with the baby.
And then Nat gets Ben to help, and
because he showed them the video.
Yeah. And he's freaking the fuck out. He's like, look, I only pressed buttons. I didn't actually pay attention.
I pressed play on the video.
I'm a grown man. I don't know how labor works. And I was honestly very disappointed. I was like, you are the only adult figure here.
You're the adult.
Well, everybody's in an uncomfortable situation currently. Like, I think you can, and I was just very disappointed by the lack of maturity with him during this scene.
Right. I agree. Because he nopes. He's just like, nah, I'm out.
Hey,
sorry, I'm gonna go back into my like moping room.
Yeah, and cover my ears so I don't hear her scream. I was like, I wrote in my notes, "Fucking pussy."
Jeez, Madison going hard.
I am. I was so mad.
You're gonna get them edges, damn girl.
And then it's Akila's turn. Everyone's taking their turns. She gets
Akila, stepping up.
Yeah, she gets in there.
Well, she's got a nice little friend to help her. She's got a good support structure. You got Nuggets in her pocket. Like, we got this, Nugget. And Nugget's like, you got it, Nux.
Nux. Little Nux.
And they're like, who are you talking to? It's like, no one. Don't eat my friend.
No one. And then Travis grabs the skull off the wall.
Well, no one's going to do the obvious thing here.
Well,
I don't know why we're all standing around not grabbing the big skull.
No one's asking me for help, so I'm just going to grab the skull off the wall and give offerings to it. Give it to the wilderness ghost.
Why didn't we just start with this? Like, we brought her in and just immediately like put her under the big skull.
Oh my
Clearly
God.
that's the question.
Clearly that's what we need to do.
Women, am I right? Jesus.
I hope when they're in the reading rooms, like doing the scripts, that's Travis's voice.
It better be. He hasn't really had a lot of lines recently, so I've kind of forgotten what he actually sounds like.
I mean, how we're portraying is not too far off, personally.
Lottie says, hey, we need offerings. They start spilling blood on the skull. Some people are laying down hair.
I know. I was like, all right, what an offering that is.
Yeah, it's a total Mari move.
Yeah. Mari's like, oh, what can I give? And then they have their scissors there, question mark. And she just went.
Yeah. Like, everyone's spilling blood. She's like, ooh, I would, but like, I didn't drink a lot of water this morning, so how about my hair?
How about my hair?
Some people have said it's my best feature.
Right.
Throw it on the pile.
Put it there. Put it there and I'll drip my blood over it.
It'll be so metal. Just like Metallica. Shauna, Nat, and Ty are freaked out, understandably.
Yes.
But Lottie lets everyone know that she recognizes their sacrifice.
Yes.
Cut to Lottie in the present day with her therapist, who I assume is back from their vacation.
Dr. Graham? Right?
I did not write it down. I don't have their name in front of me.
That
sounds right.
The doctor therapist woman.
So is this her actual therapist and not the replacement?
I think
that we saw prior?
I believe so.
This therapist was pretty interesting because Lottie essentially is saying, like, I'm worried that I've never actually been ill, that everything was real, the power of that place, the God of that place. We did terrible things in its name, and that we brought it back with us. And everyone's coming back to my resort or wellness center to prove that that was real. Mm-hmm. And the therapist is like, totes. Preach, girl. I get that.
Yeah,
Been there.
Totally. And Lottie's just like, what am I paying you for?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I love this therapist scene because I don't love it. I think it's like probably the most contrived scene in the whole episode because it's very much like we need some exposition for Lottie's motivations. Mm-hmm. Let's just have a therapist that does nothing but expound on that. Tell me your feelings as if I were a studio audience that needs to be refreshed up on your character motivations.
Right. And Lottie's like, okay, and then goes on. I'm just like, what? But so she's admitting that the visions are still happening. So essentially she's saying, I don't think I ever had schizophrenia. I think what happened to me is real and like not, which is, yeah, because I mean, we are all under the assumption that at least in the first season and up until this point that she has had schizophrenia.
Right.
But then again, all of her
premonitions seem to come true. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, maybe she is right in that instance. So, but yeah, this scene, it was really weird. I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, Lottie's in therapy.
Oh, Lottie.
Yeah.
Lottie.
Lottie. And then,
I do like Simone Cassell, who plays adult Lottie.
Yes.
I like no slight against her in the scene. It's just a really oddly constructed scene.
Yeah. I mean, but also it's like, what other medium would they have given Lottie to exhaust this information? You know what I mean? Like to kind of dissect her thoughts about what's happening.
Yeah, I would almost prefer that she told this to the group. Like maybe they didn't have this scene at all, and maybe we find this out about her next scene when they're all together. And she's like, you're all here because I feel like she's going to say that to them. So this is almost like an unneeded thing.
Sure.
But we'll find out next week.
Yeah, but I'm also still trying to dissect if Lottie is a bad guy. I feel like we're all still trying to figure out.
Yeah. Or an unwilling tool of the villain.
Yeah, because I feel like if she was to talk to the group, it would insinuate, they're on equal playing fields. And I think not having her talk to them, maybe there's lack of trust.
Yeah,
there.
maybe there's some Sixth Sense like twist with the psychologist coming, because it is weird to say, hey, the psychologist is gone for this episode. Mm-hmm. Now the psychologist is presumably back. It's just kind of a weird thing to throw in that I feel like maybe is setting up for some weird twist that'll come later that just isn't obvious to me now.
The therapist is the antler queen. I have no idea.
Maybe the therapist is actually just the spirit that we saw that was, in that episode when Jackie was in the world and like,
I'm so happy to see you here, Jackie. You're finally mating.
Maybe that's actually Lottie's therapist, where it's like,
tell me about when you hung out with your mother today, Lottie.
Yeah, maybe. It was just overall, I'm like, okay, very interesting scene. But at the end of the conversation, she's basically saying, yeah, we thought we left it in the woods, but it has been brought back with us.
Right.
And that's our time.
And Lottie's like, thanks. I guess.
Yeah. We built for this.
So we cut to Misty. She's in a drum circle, a feelings drum circle, where I guess they're like playing drums and they encourage someone to just let their emotions out and cry.
Yeah.
And Misty just thinks this is so stupid.
She's like so zoned out, like not in it at all.
Yeah, she's like barely tapping on her drums.
Yeah. And the guy leans over and is like, would you like a turn? Because I think the woman that's going is like in the midst of a breakup or has experienced
why did you leave me? Please come back.
And so he's like, he throws, is that why Walter's, been messaging you?
This is a gossipy bitch.
Yeah.
This dude? Who is this guy?
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised Misty isn't jumping like in with it because, she likes a goss.
She likes
is a
hot
gossip.
goss. Yeah, she likes hot goss.
But she says that, she's just here for her friend Natalie. And everyone's like, You know Natalie? What?
She's now a celebrity.
Yeah.
And she loves that shit.
Oh, she's eating it up. She
Yeah.
goes, I have some stories. And they're like, ooh,
If
okay.
you're done crying, I could tell you some stories.
It's like immediate crying. And then they're like, you know Natalie? Yeah.
Yeah, Natalie's a big deal.
Big deal.
Big deal.
Big
She's
deal
a big
around
deal.
these
We
parts.
know about that. Coach Ben is not having a good time. He's back in his moping room.
Yep.
He's thinking about his friends playing charades
Yes.
with his boyfriend. Is this a flashback, or is this just another like him imagining what his life could be if he did not get on that plane?
For me, I was just like, he's just having an outer body experience of remembering past things. I wasn't too sure how it connected to the current scenario. I just was like, maybe this is his coping mechanism of how to get out of the shitty situation that he's in.
Yeah. It was interesting that they were playing charades in a cabin.
Oh, I think it was just kind of like intermingling with what was currently happening.
Yeah.
But maybe that's like his happy place, how he can kind of escape this.
My happy place is a game of charades.
But being with like his partner and just kind of disassociating from the craziness of Shauna being in labor, I think was the main pool there with that, why that was happening.
Have you ever been in a tough situation and you just thought back to a better time when you were playing charades with your friends?
I'm sure I have, but I can't think of it.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. We've all done that.
2 words.
Yes. 2 words. In labor. No.
Akilah, speaking of in labor, Akila's doing her best.
She is.
She's trying. Nugget's there supporting her.
Yes.
But things go a little sideways,
Yeah.
or backwards as they were, because she pulls out the placenta first.
Yeah,
which
is not great.
a big old bag of gore that comes out of Shauna.
Yeah. The placenta is usually what comes out last, which I'm not too familiar with, like baby placement or anything like that. But I do know the placenta is supposed to come out, and if it comes out last, and if it comes out first, it usually means bad things.
Yeah.
But
Because
yeah,
the baby has to come head out, ideally.
yes.
And if it's coming feet first, that's no bueno.
Yeah. No, her poor vagina.
Everyone give her space.
Give her space.
Give her space.
Give her vagina space.
Please, it needs to breathe. There's a literal life coming out of it. Please give it space.
Oh goodness. But yeah, Akilah. Why do I keep mixing Misty and Akilah's names together?
Akilah.
That's not her name.
That's her celebrity dating name.
Yeah. Akilah pulls out the placenta. I don't know if she steps away but I think she's still in it, and Misty is in the.
Yeah, Akilah, to her credit, stays strong. Like,
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna do the thing where Akilah's gonna like just.
She's like tapping out.
Toss lunch, you know.
Tapping out. I need a break.
But I think, is it Ty that goes to get Misty? Like, hey, what are you doing?
I think Lottie goes to get Misty.
Oh, is it Lottie? Okay.
Or Lottie recognizes that Misty is like having a breakdown. She's like she is herself disassociating from the situation because she's trying to process what happened to Crystal.
Yeah, and we find out that her and Crystal were supposed to do this together. They had a plan. And now Crystal's gone, and her best friend's gone, and she's the reason why.
Yeah, of her demise. Yeah. But Lottie essentially snaps her out of it.
Yeah, it is Lottie, because she says you can save our baby.
Yeah.
Weird Lottie.
Yeah.
A little weird.
A little weird. Misty comes to, and I love Samantha Hanratty's performance here because you see her, I feel like actually, I don't want to say that we haven't seen Misty go through some very emotional trauma up until this point, but I feel like a lot of her emotion has been stimulated by like the social cues around her. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this is the first time that we're actually seeing her like
on her own journey.
On her own, like is really suffering. And then I love how Samantha Hanratty like immediately clicks. There's like something in her brain, and you could see it visually on her performance of just snapping right into her old self and going at like going back into the situation, ready to go.
Yeah. She's back in the game.
Yeah, she
She's
is.
back at it. She's like, scalpel, gloves, hot towel, hot toddy. Let's do this.
And then put Push It On by Salt and Pepper.
Oh, yeah, push
it. Come on, everybody, sing.
That's what we all. Oh my God. If my mom tells me like I was born to the song of Push It by Salt and Pepper, I would high five her. Like, way to be a cool mom.
Way to go, mom.
Way to be a cool mom. Callie and Shauna in the present day arrive to the
police station.
I almost said police party, which is not a thing. That's a very different thing. But they immediately run into Jay, first one, and goddamn, does this guy not have the most punchable face?
Oh my gosh, he's all smirk, smile, thinking he hit the mother load. He's like, I got him in. Gosh,
he's such a shitheel because like he even looks at Callie and is like, "Hey girl, I got your ass." Like, ew.
Yeah, fuck you, Jay.
Ew.
What's his real name?
It's weird.
Siracusa?
Siracusa. Yeah, it's an odd name.
Yeah, I don't even know what his first name is.
Dickbag. That's his name.
Oh shit.
Dickbag McNasty. That's his real name, all right?
Porn stash.
Yeah.
Shithead.
Oh, so Dickbag McNasty takes Shauna into one interrogation room. Kevin takes Callie into the other. We cut back to Ty and Van in the video store. I love how the scene opens where I think Ty is helping her catalog tapes and she goes, Miss Congeniality, good Sandy or bad Sandy? She's like, how dare you? We all know that's good Sandy.
Good Sandy. Yeah.
Miss Congeniality's great.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if a patron out there wants to nominate Miss Congeniality as a chosen film, I would not be upset.
That to me sounds like a little hint, Steve.
I'll never tell.
Yeah. But no, it was funny. I liked that interaction. But Ty acknowledges, the bills, and Van essentially is like getting annoyed. She's like, "Hey, you came here for help for yourself. If I need help, I'll let you know," type of thing.
Yeah, she's a strong lady. She's a strong, independent lady who don't need no Ty. All right, especially that sleepy time Ty. It's a lot of drama.
Yes.
Misty calls Ty, speaking of which, while they're there to tell her, "Hey, friend, guess who's back?" It's not Brittany, bitch. It's Lottie.
It's Lottie.
She's not in Switzerland. She's got her own wellness center, and the BO factor is surprisingly low. Good news on that front. Good news.
Yeah, that was a little cackle moment.
I just love the energy that Misty has in general, but Christina Ricci, Misty, like when she's like, "You'll never guess what I ran into."
But it's also just like the minute detail that no one would acknowledge except for her. And I love it.
Yeah, because no one really, like, the bombshell is Lottie isn't in an institution. Yeah. She's running one, and she's supposedly healthy. But Misty has to glom on, like, here are some other facts that you might find interesting, but no one else does.
Yeah. So good.
So back in the Shauna baby times, Lottie is leading a prayer with all the other kids. We hear the wilderness, and it hears us.
Oh, my gosh.
Travis is crying. I'm just very emotional
right now, guys.
There's a lot of estrogen here. We're literally giving birth to life.
This is our baby.
This is
coming into the world.
I don't know if this is overstepping my bounds, but I have some names picked out. All right, we've got Travis Jr. That's we can debate that one. If it's a girl, I was thinking of Cindy. Because I like Cyndi Lauper. Love them jams.
Yeah. Or Cindy Crawford.
There's a lot of Cindys.
There's a lot. Or Brooke, like Brooke Shields.
Brooke Shields. I spent a lot of time pleasuring myself to Brooke Shields around this time.
Some of the
I would
names?
like to honor her.
Or Pamela, from that Playboy we saw.
Yeah. Let's do it. Van, I know you get it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Ty, I know you can.
Why does everyone tell me to shut up?
I love how we just listed all female names when it's a boy.
Travis is a boy. Oh, well, then Travis Jr.
Travis Jr. Easily.
What else is there? We can't name it after Coach Ben.
Yeah, no. Not one leg Ben over there.
He wouldn't even put his, pubes on the deer skull. That's Maury even did something similar. Come on.
I know. What the fuck? Those actually were Mari's pubes.
bucks. I guess I've been saving up. I've been saving up for my donation.
Shit, they've been out there for a long time. I can only imagine what their nether regions look like.
Past the Deer Skull Collections cup of the Lottie Church of Wilderness. Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
But the chant is going strong. Ty even joins in a little bit, which is kind of surprising. I guess Ty is looking for any sort of help in this situation.
Sort of, like, grasping onto anything that can help the scenario. Because honestly, it's not looking good for Shauna in this exact moment. So much so that Shauna blacks out completely. Yeah. And then blacks out, right? And I was skeptical of this from the beginning. I just need to point that out.
Oh, you didn't believe it?
Yeah, I was a little skeptical. But she comes to, and everyone is surrounding her, very proud.
So happy.
All of a sudden, the tone just went from super intense, super crazy to like very tone, like, nice and settled.
Shauna, Travis here. I'm super chill. It's a boy.
It's a boy.
It's Travis Jr., right?
Travis Jr.
We can talk about it later, but great job. Proud of you, girl.
Yeah.
You did it.
I sacrificed my blood for you.
Or sacrificed her pubes. Wouldn't be my first choice, but she was there for you, girl.
Oh my goodness. But yes, it's a boy. So Lottie was right. And Shauna is just ecstatic. She's done. She gave birth. The baby.
She earned it.
Yeah, fuck. Shit. The baby is, to our surprise, healthy, fine. And yeah, it was just kind of this moment of like, Shauna did it. The baby's out. Everybody's like, the baby. Everybody's happy that, Shauna is alive. The baby's out. It's a boy. Lottie's like, I fucking knew it.
I knew it.
I called that shit.
Suck it, all you haters. I just realized this is going to be one of the last times we can do the baby.
Aw. Yeah.
Oh, no.
No. The baby.
We'll bring it back.
We have to bring it back for Chris.
Yeah.
When he comes back.
Yeah. We cut to Ty and Van driving to the wellness center. Mm-hmm. Van says something like, I'd rather keep the past in the past, but Ty's really worried about her that she hasn't given up on love. But Van kind of has, but not because of Ty. She was she really wanted to point that out. They're like, you're not the reason why.
Yeah, humble yourself over there.
Yeah. But she's on the apps.
She's on the apps.
Yeah.
She gets her needs met. I liked that.
Get my needs met.
Yep.
What dating app do you think Van's using?
Shit, I don't know. I feel like she's too...
It's not Bumble.
Well, it could be.
Could be Bumble.
Could be Bumble. Maybe Hinge. I don't know of any...
You don't think she's a Tinder?
Maybe Tinder.
Is Tinder a queer positive app?
I think so. I haven't been on Tinder since college, but I'm not...
Tinder scares me.
Yeah, it should. It should scare you. But I can't think of any queer focused dating apps at the moment. But I'm sure she gets. I don't want to say gets around. That sounds bad. But I'm sure she gets her needs met. She gets her needs met.
If she wants to go out and fuck, good for her.
Yeah.
Let people fuck. Let Van fuck. Right?
Honestly, yeah.
Any time of day, any place she wants. She's a grown ass woman. Let her fuck.
Van fucks.
Yeah.
We do know this.
Yeah. Let it happen. Let it happen.
But I like the line where, and you said this already, but Van wants to keep the past in the past, and then Ty's like, "You run a video store, girlie."
Yeah, that was good.
Like, come on.
I see you.
But I did appreciate how, Ty was very concerned with Van's, just like her love life, making sure that, she is okay. And
you can tell there's still something there between them. At least some sort of care and love.
Yeah,
them.
definitely. Which I thought was a very sweet moment. But ultimately Van is like, it's better for her to be this way. And I'm essentially, I assume it just means to be single and to not really get into a relationship. I mean, I mean, you could also look at it like Ty tried the whole marriage thing and look where she's at. So,
Yeah, well. But is Simone alive? Have we? Has anyone checked up on that?
No idea.
I know she thought she was getting a call from the hospital, so I assume she's still in a coma. But
also, where's her kid?
Where is that little boy? Who is what? She has not been concerned about Sammy at all.
I know. I have no idea.
But I had to ask you about the Van app situation because you're my go-to person for dating app advice. Okay.
Thank you. I'm honored.
No, like legit. When I was
so single. That's why I'm. No,
I didn't mean it like that.
No, I know. I'm just busting your balls. You're fine.
No, like when I was like, I gotta start dating again. I went to you and I'm like, hey, Madison, you know me.
Yeah.
What app would best suit my personality?
Yeah.
And you hit it out of the park.
I tried. I was like, hey, I think this would work for you.
And you nailed it.
Yeah. Well, you did the grunt work with your profile. It was pretty solid. Not gonna lie.
Thank you. I had a good hot D reference on my dating profile.
Yeah, you did.
Is Rhaenyra Targaryen the one true queen of Westeros? They got me some good hits.
Good.
So we got now Lisa is coming back into Natalie's room. She wants to show that Natalie needs to be responsible for an innocent life not of her own, so she gives her goldfish to keep to take care of, and says that meeting suffering with compassion is the only way to grow. That's why she has forgiven Nat for stabbing her in the face.
Which is a big thing to forgive somebody for.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is a nice moment between the two of them.
I like Lisa. She's a good character.
Yeah. And can I just say, I've seen some weird theories about Lisa. Like,
ooh, do tell.
People are saying that Lisa is Natalie's child.
She's Javi grown up.
Clearly. You know, we're diving into some transgender roles here. But no, not that I want to completely abandon that thought, but I think when people are projecting that idea, I think they're missing just the mirror reflection of these two characters and how they're dealing with their addictions. And because a lot of people are like, we don't know if the mom that Lisa was talking to is actually her mom. Like, you know, and I just was like, why would they set that whole plot up to be not that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a weird thought that it's just a weird idea that I've been seeing for that character. And I'm like, not everybody has to be
a thing. Yeah, you could just be
a mom and a daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can just be a person that runs into another person's life and not have some weird cryptic backstory.
I just think the whole point of Lisa is to show Nat, like just to show kind of a reflection of Nat and who she can be, and just having somebody else there that relates to her in the form of addiction. And
in a way, I think the act of giving her the goldfish, like, hey, be responsible for someone else, not you.
Yeah.
Sort of, in a way, I think is going to lead to their relationship, because already Nat's kind of taken some responsibility with Lisa. Like, she's defended her
some guidance
in front of her parent, in front of her mom. So that might be like, you know, this relationship she has with this person might be what Nat needs to take that next step in her own personal growth.
Yeah. And I've come to like this relationship in particular. I think I'm still a little on the fence of Lisa with her motives just because she's a part of Lottie's cult. But I do like how Nat has been going on the kind of this journey of rebirth, I guess is what you could call it. And so I really have enjoyed their interactions. I think it's been very, very sincere, and it's cool to see Natalie in that way, since all season 1 she was basically coked out and crazy and stuff like that. So
she's learning.
She is learning.
She's learning about herself and that she's a queen.
Badass bitch.
But Madison, it'd be cold in that forest.
Yeah, it do be.
It'd be cold. We get a lot of wide shots of how cold that forest is. But Shauna's trying to breastfeed the baby, Travis Jr. Nat says she's been starving though, and that might not maybe why, because Shauna can't actually. They're implying that Shauna can't produce the breast milk that the baby needs to eat. So the baby's starving. Yeah,
I was interpreting it that way, but I also was like, he's not latching on either.
That too.
Yeah. So I think it's a combination of both, but they essentially have moved Shauna into one of the bedrooms. They've accumulated all of the baby supplies that they made for her for the baby shower, and they put it all in this room. And it's essentially like
Van's TP.
But, you know, now Shauna is in this isolated room with this baby, and the baby just will not stop crying. You know, it's not sucking on the teeth. Sorry, I didn't want to say it like that, but
It's not latching.
It's not latching, yeah. But it's I kind of, this is where I started to get a little what's the word? I knew that there was
too good to be true.
Too good to be true, because nobody was helping her in this instance. And I was like, I feel like there would be a little bit more of like, not hovering, but, you know, Shauna did just lose a lot of blood, and they just put her in a room with a baby. You know what I mean?
And there was a lot of warm lights being used in these scenes. So usually they're in a winter, and if you pay attention to the lighting, they're using a lot of blue light, which is the natural sunlight, but also it makes you think of cold, right?
Yes.
And in these scenes, they were using a warm light, like an orange one, so it looked warmer, and there she was glowing of childbirth and all that stuff. But you're right. Really, it's only Nat and that one time Lottie that they kind of like, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing okay. Bye. Like, but no, like Ty's not there. You know, Ty would be there.
Yeah.
Pregnancy co-pilot.
But you're just kind of getting a glimpse of Shauna essentially taking care of this baby and not doing. And I shouldn't say not doing a great job, but it's been a struggle.
She's struggling
from the beginning. Yeah.
Because I can't imagine having to raise a baby. I can't imagine trying to survive in that situation, let alone also raise a child.
Yeah.
Like a newborn like that. Oh, man. How impossible that has to be.
Crazy.
But we go from this very somber situation
intimate,
to Jeff listening to Fuck the Police by NWA in his car.
Outside of the police station. In his shitty van. God, he's like
this dude. I swear. I
do you think he
kind of love him?
Like what a play on a cliche of just this idea of like, is he in his mind thinking, oh, you know, it would be like really fuck the police, playing fuck the police outside of the police station. You know
Scandalous.
what I mean? Like.
You know, all the cops on their break walking by are just like, okay, man.
All right, you white suburban man,
all
whatever.
Right, Jeff.
It's like, you're really showing us, man. We know your wife and kid are in there. But yeah, he's waiting anxiously outside the police station when Ty calls him to kind of telephone the information from Misty to Shauna. And so he takes the message.
Hi, Van.
That was so funny. And yeah, because at the very end of the call, he's like, hey, Van. And
they hang
up on him. So funny.
Love it.
Yeah. And then in the wellness center, Nat sees Misty
wearing purple flannel.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she looks like the most coolest person there.
Yeah. Everybody's surrounded by her, listening to her stories. And then Nat is like, of course, pissed. Like, the fuck you doing here?
I told you to leave.
Yeah. And then Nat makes a comment about Walter and asks where he went, which I thought was interesting.
I really like this small moment. This is a very small moment where, she asks Misty about Walter. And there's a moment where you see Christina Ricci in the performance. You can tell she is upset that Walter's not there.
Yeah.
And Nat realizes that. And she realizes that maybe her and Misty aren't that dissimilar, because she sees Misty as also pushing away someone that clearly is good for her.
Yeah.
Or maybe the one person that would get her, just like she pushed away Travis all those years. And in that one moment, Nat just says, we're all like this, aren't we? Just being resigned to that. It's resignation, but also a little bit of a breath of fresh air. Oh, it's not just me. I'm not the only one that's fucked up like this. You too are like this.
Yeah.
It was such a small little performance between both those actresses, but
the weight of it was very, it was there.
I felt it. I almost felt like I got hit in the gut and almost started crying. We're all like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
No, it was a good little scene between the two of them.
The baby's still not crying, or the baby's still crying, not eating.
She's still crying. Yeah. Not eating. Shauna's doing her darndest to get him to stop.
Yeah.
And, I can only imagine not the embarrassment, but just like the guilt of that situation of like, you've put yourself in this situation. You have this full baby to take care of. You can't get it to stop crying. You're being a nuisance to everybody else, I'm sure. Like, just this is what I would imagine Shauna is just thinking in that moment.
A lot of stuff.
Yes. But again, still trying to get the baby to eat, and he's just not taking it.
See, I had thought at one point they were inferring that Shauna couldn't do this. And I think Lottie explicitly is the one. There's a scene later where she's with like young Lottie. And Lottie almost implies like, oh, you haven't been eating, so you can't take care of this baby.
Yeah, I don't think we've gotten there yet. I think
we haven't.
Yeah, I think, but it's.
But I think it was this scene where they kind of show down Shauna's shirt a little bit, and you don't see her breast, but I thought I saw bruising around it.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe that implied that the baby was latching.
I see.
And trying real hard, but wasn't getting anything.
I see.
But I could be mistaken by that read.
No, I think that's fair, because I do remember seeing the discoloration on her chest and wondering what that was. I think I just was like, oh, that must have been something that happened during the pregnancy, or maybe it's just like from a lack of.
It might be
like is malnourished, so that's what happens. Mm-hmm. But I think that's a good interpretation of that. Yeah.
Well, we go from there to Jay interviewing Shauna. He's being a total smarmy creep.
Yeah.
He actually, and there's some back and forth between the interview with Jay and Shauna and then Kevin and Callie. Mm-hmm. But Jay basically gets Shauna to admit having an affair with Adam, and he's super proud of himself, and he like pushes the file of Adam and is like, tell me more. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Callie's in the other room with Kevin, and she says like, I'm so stupid. I thought Jay really loved me, but really I was and she implies that he slept with her, and Kevin's like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I was like, does Kevin believe this? Like,
I don't think he does, but he knows how he knows how screwed it is.
Can get. Yeah. And then Shauna.
I mean, just look at Jay. If someone said this guy took advantage of this girl, would you be like, I don't know.
No
I would take one look at that smarmy shit heel and think like,
oh yeah, 100%.
Hobag McNasty, guilty.
Oh, he's lying through that mustache.
Yeah, he is. That mustache isn't made of hair; it's made of lies.
Oh, but he is a pretty man. Okay, that's all I'll say.
I mean, I'm throwing shade, but
he's a pretty man.
Smash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Major smash. But in the interrogation room with Shauna, she does admit to having an affair with Adam, but she also unpacks some pretty deep shit to Jay about her marriage, about being a mom, and essentially says, she never wanted to be a mom. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was very counterintuitive with the scene of young Shauna with the baby, because clearly, she's wanting to take care of this baby and, says that, or I don't know, it seems like, you have young Shauna in this very motherly scenario, and then you have her in this interrogation saying, I never wanted to be a mom. And, she kind of says, the whole reason of having Callie was to save this marriage that maybe she never even wanted to be in. Right. It almost seems like, adult Shauna is having a little bit of an identity crisis in this moment. Or, I don't know. Again, I haven't been too happy with adult Shauna as of recent. And it's her kind of unpacking this that's making it really hard to like her character. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious, what did you think about that?
Well, I think, and I don't want to get too far into this because somebody wrote an email about kind of something similar. What I think is kind of, we'll get into that when I read it. But
okay.
I think what is happening with the flashback is Shauna being shown what could be, what could have been, right? Because she says like, I didn't think I wanted you to that baby. I didn't think I wanted a baby, which is true. She didn't want to think she didn't think she did not think she wanted to have a baby. I don't know why I can't talk.
Yeah.
And then she had a baby and she realized she was wrong. And so I think when she's in the interrogation, she's not necessarily lying that she never wanted to have a kid. And maybe when she got back to the real world, obviously, understandably, that whole ordeal would make you be like, I can't go through that again.
Yeah. Or maybe it was in hindsight, like, she had this baby in the woods, and you said we have an email that kind of dives into it. Maybe we resurface this conversation.
Let's put a pin in it.
We'll put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it.
Yeah, we'll spoof about it later.
But next we see the scene we kind of alluded to earlier where Lottie's holding the baby he needs to feed.
Which I was like, are we about to get into a Hereditary moment with the grandma breastfeeding the baby? Because I was just like, is Lottie trying to breastfeed this kid right now? Like
that's what I thought initially, that wide shot when you see Lottie's there. I'm like, is Lottie breastfeeding the baby?
I was like, okay, this is some weird shit that's happening. I mean, there's already been some weird shit happening, but I was like, Lottie, be fucking for real.
That would be.
Come on.
I think a line would have been crossed if Lottie was like.
Lines have already been kind of crossed.
Oh, yeah.
But
that's true.
A big line here. If
I don't know, I draw the line at breastfeeding another woman's child, but eating a friend,
right?
A-okay with. Jackie was delicious.
Yeah. Lottie's in there basically saying, you can't do this, right? She's basically like, he needs to feed, and I'm not sure exactly what they said to each other. But Shauna's very defensive, and she's like, give me my fucking baby back, bitch.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, bitch.
Bitch. And, Lottie, has her, exit line. You'll understand soon enough. It's like, what do you mean?
Or I can understand now and you tell me now.
Right.
Don't be all cryptic and shit.
You just try to put your fucking tit in my kid's mouth. What's wrong? What are you doing? Like, come on.
Bueno.
Yeah. Very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird interaction between that. Yeah.
But does it even matter?
No.
Does that interaction even matter, considering what we're going to see in a little bit?
Yeah.
In the future, Shauna gets out of the police department. She talks to Jeff about how she basically like, I told him about Adam. I told him about the affair, and he's really mad, and he tells her like, hey, Ty called. I think you should go.
Yeah.
Because loose lips sink ships, and you're the loosest of lips right now.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, in words and in adultery. So get out of here. But I love when, a really good old spit take when Shauna tells Jeff, yeah, I told him I slept with Adam, and then just like his Pepsi everywhere in the car.
And then later on when Callie comes in and she's so proud of herself, she's like, I took mom's idea and I think they're shitting their pants. Oh, are we going to jail?
Yeah. It's just like, it's such like a playful family interaction. And like Callie's treating it as a game. Like, honestly, like she's not really understanding the seriousness of the situation.
Callie's dumb.
Whereas Jeff is like uber serious and is like, what? Why are we missing the beats here? Like, I thought we were trying to save this family. And Shauna's just like, I don't know.
Poor Jeff is just trying his best.
Yeah.
Shauna just keeps digging and digging and digging that hole.
And then Callie's just like, Mom, love me. Like I feel like that's the whole.
Did I do a good thing, Mom?
Yeah. And that's ultimately what I feel like Callie is searching for. She just wants her mom's approval. And after, the interrogation scene with Shauna, it's like, I can understand why. Probably because Shauna hasn't really given her daughter a chance because she never really wanted to have this life. And it's been evident. It was evident from the very first time that we saw Shauna, going and cleaning and doing these mundane tasks for her husband and her kid. Not to go on a little tangent there, but I just
pop off, queen.
Yeah, but yeah, Jeff ultimately is like, Shauna, you need to go. You need to get out of here.
You need to get out of here. You're causing us trouble.
Yeah.
Next up, we see Nat versus Fish in a scene that I thought was way too dramatic and unnecessary.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, because at first I didn't know what Nat was doing. And then I realized what she was doing. And I was like, that doesn't seem in character. That's some psycho like Misty shit right there.
Yeah. This scene did not read like Nat. Like, I understand they're trying to hammer home that Nat she thinks life is a prison.
Yeah.
And she wants to escape it. And at one point thought suicide was the only way to do it. And I just thought the scene was incredibly heavy-handed and out of character. Like, oh, this person that I've developed some sort of kinship with has given me their fish to take care of. That woman's going to get out the door, and not 30 seconds later, I'm going to pick the fish up and kill it.
Yeah.
It just, I really did not like this scene.
No, I agree. I thought it was very out of character for Nat. I was like, this is too much of a Misty thing to do. It honestly reminded me of Misty.
She did like a head tilt.
Yeah, head tilt, watching the squirrel, struggle in the pool. But in this case, it's a fish struggling in air. But it just, it was very out of character. I was kind of like, okay, what was the point of this? I feel like they could have not had this scene and it would have been equally.
Yeah, we would have lost nothing.
Yeah.
But now we cut back to Shauna in the past. She's telling her new baby boy, Travis Jr., that did she actually name
Hey,
it?
Mom. No.
Okay. But she's saying, like, it's a really complicated story. I didn't think I wanted you, but I'm wrong. It's you and me, kid. Now that I see you, I just can't help but think of what you'll become. And he finally latches on and starts to nurse.
Yeah.
And it's a really heartwarming moment.
Shauna is very, very ecstatic, very proud. She's like, finally, I'm finally doing something right. And then Nat enters to bring Shauna some tea.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, girl, what's going on? And, Shauna announces that, he is feeding, and Nat immediately wants to tell the others, but Shauna's like, no, I just want to have this moment, like this victory to myself. And Nat's like, okay, I won't tell anybody. Yeah.
I'll never tell.
Yeah. And it was that moment there confirmed my thought initially. Mm-hmm. I was just like, Nat's acting weird.
This is too happy.
Yeah.
The scene is too happy.
Too weird.
We go back to Van and Ty. They're in their car, just waiting just outside the wellness center, I guess kind of hyping each other up. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And before they can do anything, Shauna just barrels on in, and they're like, God damn, was that Shauna?
Yeah.
Let's go see
All right,
this.
let's go.
And I love this scene when they all get out of the car and they find each other, and then they all see Lottie, like, framed with the wilderness behind her.
Yeah.
And Van almost loses. It seems like Van has a moment seeing Lottie in that position again.
Yeah.
Because Van, out of all of them, is the one that was most devoted to Lottie back in the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Or at least had a more, was more believed in whatever Lottie was saying.
She's not Maury shaving pubes devoted, but she's up there.
I mean, I can only imagine, because also they haven't seen each other. Like, this is the first time we're getting, well, actually, that's not true. Nat and Shauna have seen each other, but all of them together in a room, just all of them together in general hasn't happened in a long time. And so I think I can only imagine the gravity of, like, being with these people after, all of these years. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the whole vision of Lottie being this, like, entity of energy and how that's affecting Van. It was a good scene. It was a good
and then
good
it cuts
scene.
to the aerial view, and the rune itself is literally the entire grounds of her wellness center.
Yeah.
I was there the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
It's the rune.
The rune. Instead of the baby, it's the rune.
The rune.
But what I thought was funny, so Nat is in full purple. I don't know if you noticed that, but she's like fully into the whatever everybody else is wearing. Mm-hmm. And Van said something, and I didn't really understand what she meant, but she was like, keep your eyes peeled for black and white Nike.
Oh, that's one of my honeycombs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then we'll talk about it in a second. I didn't know if it had another meaning.
It's a cult thing.
Okay. Yeah. I figured that's what it was, but I was like, I don't know.
But yeah, so the wellness center itself is an entire rune. Mm-hmm. We go back to Shauna hearing Lottie humming. Her baby is missing, so she goes to investigate and goes downstairs, and they're eating the baby. Oh my gosh! And then, it was all a dream. They weren't actually eating that baby. Oh, the whole baby was a dream.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah. And Shauna blacked out giving birth, and she is now coming to. And I think in her blackout, she was imagining this, the after moments of her raising this kid. Wakes up, the baby did not make it, unfortunately. And she is kind of suffering the trauma of just having this, what felt like a very real, connection to her child. And now to wake up in the reality of the baby didn't make it. And, just the emotional, turmoil that she is feeling in that moment, I'm sure it was so sad to watch.
Yeah.
And I remember, I started to cry because I just was like, I can only imagine how crazy emotionally upset you can be. And then the others around her are just equally as sad to watch their friend who has just gone through this painful experience realize that her baby is dead and now is, kind of similar to how she reacted with Jackie, where, she's still giving this person life and, saying, I heard him crying, oh my gosh.
Yeah, why can't you hear him crying? Can't you hear him crying?
Man, it was so hard to watch. And I think it's probably one of the more, I think this scene will be a scene that I will remember as one of a more pivotal scenes in television altogether. It was just very, very intense, very sad. Oh God, it was just so sad.
Yeah, it was incredible. And that's how the episode ends, is with Shauna crying out, why can't you hear him crying? Mm-hmm. And no one really knows what to do, but Ty does comfort her in the end. So with that note, let's shift into our favorite moments, our choice cuts.
Moments.
Our top 3 favorite moments, starting at number 3. Madison, what is your third favorite moment of this episode?
My third favorite moment is a little bit of a cackle moment.
A cackle.
And it's when Akilah is talking to Nugget while in between Shauna's legs.
Hell yeah.
And it's just like, come on, we got this, Nugget. And Nugget's like, you got it, girl. You can do it.
You can do it.
And everyone's just like, the fuck who are you talking to?
Nugget.
And then Akilah's like, clearly Shauna's vagina. I don't know who else I could talk to. But
wait, Misty was doing it. Why can't I?
Yeah, but I thought it was a very funny, humorous moment in a humorous moment in the scene of turmoil with Shauna giving birth.
Oh my God, when they inevitably kill Nugget, I'm gonna just be apoplectic. That
I hope
week.
it never comes to fruition. I hope Nugget
they just forget about Nugget, and we could just think that he lived a long, happy life in Akilah's pocket.
Or Nugget escapes naturally, and Akilah's really upset about it or something. I just hope they don't kill Nugget.
What if they do a Sixth Sense twist where Nugget is actually the spirit spying on them the whole time? What was the Scabbers in Harry Potter?
Peter Pettigrew.
It's Peter Pettigrew. No, it's just Peter Pettigrew.
It's just Peter Pettigrew. And they're like, who the fuck are you? And they're like, I'm looking for I'm looking for the boy who lived. And we're like, we have a boy who didn't live. I'm sorry. That's too soon. That's too soon.
Oh man.
Oh God. And Travis is like, Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew.
Who the fuck are you, man?
Spoilers, I haven't gotten to that book yet. It's not out yet.
J.K. Rowling's writing a book? What?
I'm a huge Potterhead. Everyone knows that about me.
Huge pothead, man.
Huge pothead.
Gosh.
My number 3 is, I talked about it a little bit at great length at the top, and that was Nat's "We're all like this, aren't we?" moment. That small moment really hit hard for me. Mm-hmm. What is your number 2?
My number 2 is the reunion at the end. The kind of the mass putting Lottie in this frame of, at least this frame of big energy.
Power.
Yeah, with Van and everybody, kind of the reveal of Lottie being there, and then almost kind of her vision of everybody coming to confirm like what she was talking about with her therapist. And also to just seeing them all together again as adults. I just was like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm amped up for the tail end of the season. And I also liked the play of Misty being like, Ty Van, are you back together? And they're like, no, not yet.
They did a Roy Kent style. No.
What was your number 2?
My number 2 is it's kind of a mishmash of a couple different scenes, but I count it as one. But that's everyone freaking out about the birth before it happens. Because I thought they did a really good job of showing the stakes and how awful of a situation that is to be in for everybody. And I really liked the avenue they went with, how Misty was reacting to it, the way Ty was reacting to it, the way that they started chanting, and everything elevated the horror of just that situation in general. And then they even were able to pepper in some small nuggets of like, it's not all bad, like the nugget stuff. And
But yeah, those moments were good. They tried their best to heighten the severity of the situation, but also have some elements of some humor, some comedy relief. No, that was a good one. It's a good one.
What is your number 1?
I think my number 1 is the very end with Shauna being handed the baby in real life. The baby. And just the turmoil of emotion of her realizing that the baby did not make it. She envisioned, what she had envisioned was not true. I don't know, it was just a very emotional scene. And again, I kind of said it earlier, it'll be a scene that I will remember as like probably top 5 scenes that I've watched on television. So that was my number 1.
I can see some people being maybe upset at the fact that it was all a dream. Because whenever you have like a dream sequence type thing, there's always people who are like, oh, I hate that cop out. But I think with this instance particular, we've already established that when you get unconscious in this space, you slip into this in-between world between life and death. And we've already seen that with several characters. And this was just Shauna's version of that. It was just more extended.
Yeah.
And I think that was really a good way to use it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
My number 1 was getting the gang back together.
Yeah.
Just because of, wanting to get them all back together, the power of specifically Van reacting to Lottie and the way they shot Lottie was super powerful. And it's just one of those things that gets me excited about what's going to happen next. And it makes me wonder, because I think Chris talked about this several times when he was on, where he had this expectation of like, they're going to come find Lottie, and Lottie's like bad guy of the season, right? But that's not what happened. You got to find out like Lottie did a lot of work on herself. She's trying to help people. And I wonder if like that was this whole kind of setup to be like, oh, you think what's going to happen. That's not what's going to happen, but it still actually ends up happening.
Yeah.
In a way where you get some much needed feedback into Lottie, where like she's also a victim.
Yeah.
She is just a vessel for this evil to pour out into the world.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I think that's cool. And I like this almost, it's such a dumb way. It's just such a dumb comparison, but it's like this almost Avengers style, like the lineup of heroes against Lottie in the forest.
Yeah. No, that's good.
There's gonna be a portal behind them, and on your left, and here comes Crystal.
Right.
Jackie.
And they're
Yellowjackets, assemble!
They're like ghostly forms, like Force ghosts from Star Wars. They're really pulling it all out. They said, we got this.
I love it.
Oh, man.
Well, let's, do we go on to Honeycombs next? Typically?
Honeycombs next, and then Buzz performance last.
Let's do Honeycombs. Madison, I'm just going to let you just rattle off everything you got.
Everything
and then I'll say what I got.
Okay. Well, I did pause on Van's office.
Oh, you did? Oh, good.
So do you want me to list all those things?
List them all. We can talk about them.
Okay. So I have Top Gun VHS,
Hell yeah.
Clueless VHS,
Nice.
Buffy Vampire Slayer VHS, Footloose poster, a thick computer with 3 C's.
Yeah.
Thick.
Yeah.
Scream poster, Godfather poster. I put the Act 2 butter popcorn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we talked about that, I think, previous episode.
Previous episode? Okay.
Yeah. Some good stuff.
And then Betty Boop cutout.
Betty Boop, yeah.
Obviously, Miss Congeniality. Good Sandy or Bad Sandy. Sleater Kinney Tour t-shirts.
Oh, my God. I'm a huge Sleater Kinney fan, so when they brought up Sleater Kinney, and my heart melted a little bit, like, yes.
Yes. Van, I love you even more. Ow. And then I have barrels of Kool-Aid powder in reference to cult-related things. And then I have some music, but you go ahead.
Well, the posters I saw, I don't think you named these were the Scream poster. There was an airplane poster. There were 2 airplane references in this episode.
Oh, really?
What was the other one?
Makes
I wrote it
sense.
down. Oh, it was during the charade scene with Coach Ben. Airplane was one of the movies that they shouted out.
Oh, okay.
There's the Truman Show poster.
Okay.
And a Friday the 13th poster in the background.
Okay,
and then the other movies that were listed in the charades game was The Shining,
Nice.
Falling Down, The Silence of the Lambs, a little
Amazing.
film we covered last week on the show with
If you
Andy.
want to check it out.
And always be plugging. Hear No Evil and One Life to Live were the other movies mentioned in the charades game. What else you got?
Well, I mentioned the keep a lookout for black and white Nike.
Oh, yeah. So the black and white Nike. The black and white Nikes were worn by cult members of the Heaven's Gate cult.
Oh.
And so when all 39 of them died, all 39 bodies were found wearing black and white Nikes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's very odd.
Yeah, because I had to look that up too, because I was like, I know that's a thing, but I can't quite.
Yeah, when she
place
said it, I was like, is that like a 90s reference of something that I'm not?
Yeah, because the Kool-Aid thing is Jonestown, right?
Yeah. I knew that just because Kool-Aid is, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kool-Aid. Well, I feel like that is a more, the Kool-Aid reference is a more prominent reference than the black and white Nike. I wasn't sure where that stemmed from, but.
It's a little bit of a deep cut.
Interesting. Okay. And then all I have left is music.
Same.
Okay. You want to go?
Let's go one after another.
Okay. I have Song Toot by Blur.
Woohoo! Yeah,
Love
you
that
do.
song.
Your Woman by Whitetown.
Nice. I have Rescue Me by Madonna.
Classic. We got Sorted for Ease and Whiz by Pulp.
Ooh. I have Pizzella by Elliott Smith.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I
saying that
don't
right?
know if you're saying that right.
I don't think I am either.
I know like one Elliott Smith song, and it's not this one.
Well, listeners, I apologize if I'm saying that wrong, but
Elliott
it's
Smith
spelled.
did Needle in the Hay, right?
I think you're correct, but this song is spelled Pit, Pitseleh. Pitts Ellie. Oh my goodness.
Pitselch.
Am I saying it?
I don't
Did
know.
I spell it incorrectly?
I don't know.
Anyway, there's an Elliott Smith song in there.
Elliott Smith is in there. It's not
Yeah.
Needle in the Hay.
No.
Of course, there's also Fuck the Police, by NWA.
Yeah.
And then Lottie hummed it several times, but it's Frère Jacques
Frère Jacques. Yep.
by Jean-Philippe Rameau. I totally butchered that, but
Okay.
I put a little
No, that sounded
pizzazz
good.
into my...
Good. That sounded good. But those are all of the Honeycombs music that I have.
Same. So that brings us to our buzzworthy performance, where we pick the best performance of the episode. Madison, before I go to you, let's go to Chris.
Let's go to Chris.
Chris actually wrote in. Chris wrote, Sophie Nalise gets the buzzworthy performance without a doubt, but Juliette Lewis rocked my world too. Also interesting that the birthing sequence, specifically both climaxes, took 4 days to shoot, and then camera got wiped. And poor Sophie had to do it all again. That's all I have to add this time. Love you guys. Interesting.
4 days and then the camera got
4 days
swiped?
of shooting and they wiped the memory of the camera.
Oh my
That
gosh.
sucks. I've been in that situation before.
Someone got fired.
So fired.
Fired. I'm just imagining that meme of Michael Jackson on stage. Have you seen that?
Which one?
Where he's on stage and somebody messed something up with like the mic or like the animatronic stuff. he's like, somebody's getting fired, like on stage singing.
Oh, damn.
Or something like he's alluding to somebody getting fired.
Damn.
Well, Chris, I agree with you in that Sophie and Elise is my buzz performance. Like I said at the very beginning, you know, the birthing scene definitely took precedent in this episode. Everything else kind of took a sideline in terms of plot, but to go through everything that a woman is going through in terms of birth, I can't even imagine doing that type of scene, but then heightening it with all of the different variables involved with being in a cabin in the woods, having no epidural, and then to have to act this scene of, oh, I thought my baby was alive and then it's not. Like just the pool of different threads of emotion. Sophie and Elise nailed it. And that's why she's my buzz performance.
Madison,
Steve.
we got ourselves a buzz.
Hell yeah.
She is also my pick for buzzworthy performance.
Yeah.
I mean, she just crushes it. And I mean, like Chris said, Juliette Lewis also has a great stuff, but man, you can't take this one. This is Sophie's award.
Sophie,
for sure.
Yes.
So she gets that. Congrats, Sophie, on getting a buzz.
The fact that I did not know that it took
they got wiped and she had to do it all over again.
4 days of all of that, the blocking, the intense,
the setting up,
and then having to like put yourself in that mind space and then to have to do it completely over again.
That's rough.
I mean, kudos to the team for doing that because it looked, I mean, having to do it a second time, it looked pretty good.
I have to cry again.
What the fuck,
I just had a single tear. That was going to be my MA.
Travis is like, why am I not the buzz performance?
Did you not see my tear? So before we go, Madison, there was a week off. Like we mentioned earlier, last week there was no episode. And a lot of people wrote in emails. And a lot of them were great.
Heck yeah.
So I wanted to read a couple of them.
Totally.
Because I thought these were different perspectives or they were just fun topics to talk about. This first one comes in from Lauren F., who writes in a lot, and she always writes in great emails. And I just want to shout her out. With this one, she wrote, she's talking about Callie. Callie definitely went up in my book, but less. Sorry. My thing totally messed up on the typing. But Lauren F. writes in, she's basically talking about how Callie as a character went up in her book in this episode. I assume that means she was a member of hashtag. What was the hashtag? Like Callie sucks? Yeah, Callie sucks is what it was.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. Like I agree. Like Callie has been getting better the last couple episodes.
Yes.
They're still kind of like being true to her being kind of dumb with the like, did I do a good job, Mom? That whole thing. But she's kind of coming into her own with her manipulation. I want to see more manipulative Callie.
Like Callie being manipulative or her being manipulated?
Why not both?
Okay.
Why not both?
I mean, Shauna do be manipulating.
She been all day, all night.
Yeah.
Every day. Lauren continues, also Jeff jamming to NWA in the police parking lot. Fucking amazing. I would climb him like a tree.
Oh.
Solid dude.
All right, Lauren. Go
I just
after
love that
it.
phrase. I'm going to climb him like a
Climbing like
tree.
a tree.
She also in another email mentioned that she wants to write to Showtime to give us screeners because we're the only reason that she got a subscription to Showtime.
Hell yeah.
And I just want to tell everyone else, follow Lauren's suit and let's start this campaign going.
Bombard email.
Harass
Showtime.
them.
Harass Showtime so we can get screeners. But yeah, no, that's a good email. And I have to note I follow quite a bit of the cast from YELLOWJACKETS and I'm gonna say Callie, the actress who plays Callie, her last name is very difficult to say. Sarah Deschardin, I think is her name. But there was an article that came out that Sarah posted on her Instagram saying Callie is no longer the worst character in YELLOWJACKETS. So
who was?
I think I didn't look into it, but it was just like the headline from the article of like,
is it Mari?
I think honestly Mari's pretty down there. But I think we are seeing that shift, but I think overall everybody else is feeling that shift as well.
Yeah.
And I think they're giving Callie more of they're just giving her more exciting things to do and to talk about and giving her some more
stuff to do.
Yeah, but also I was going to say, like, there's more of a complex relationship between her and her mom.
Yeah.
In the situation that they're in with the police is, you know, it's not a not big deal. It's pretty serious, but in the undertone, Callie's like, I just want my mom to love me and accept me. So,
poor thing.
Yeah, but.
So this might be a little awkward, Madison, because our next email comes in from Mari.
Mari. Uh-oh.
I don't think it's that Mari.
Okay.
But I can't confirm that either.
Okay.
Mari
we'll
writes,
tread lightly.
Yeah. Hello, Mari here.
Hi, Mari.
First of all, I wanted to say thank you for the time and effort you all put into keeping us all entertained.
Aww.
Discovered the pod last year during Stranger Things thanks to my sis who recommended you all. I have a theory of Javi's friend. Remember Javi's friend?
Also, real quick, where was Javi this episode?
He's missing again.
He's missing.
We need to put a bell on that kid.
For real. Shit. Tie him to Ty. I mean, my gosh. But no, I had to mention that. I was like, where the fuck was this guy?
Yeah, what a dropped plot thread. But Mari continues, at this point, it can be anything, whether it's supernatural or psychological. Oh, it could be whatever. However, what if Javi's friend is the other Taissa? In the last few episodes, Van has been following her. However, prior to that, she would disappear. What if she found him and has been the one stealing the bear meat to keep him alive? I do think the vision of the Lottie bunker is real. Perhaps not exactly as she envisions it, but I think it has to do with that stump that has melted ice. What if underneath is a cave or a warmer area, which is where Javi was found? Taissa's son did mention that she isn't the bad one. Therefore, maybe Javi discovered the bad one who told him not to go back. Any hoozles, that is my theory. Thanks again for keeping us all sane.
Wow, Mari.
Yeah.
That is a very good take on that.
I think Chris briefly brought this up last episode as a possibility. But I do like the idea that she connected the dots between the bear meat being missing all the time. I thought this was good. Him having a
friend, and it's just like, unbeknownst to all of them, that friend could be Ty, and maybe he's not speaking because Ty is there.
Yeah, she's like, oh, this is awkward. My friend's right there.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk shit about her because she's right there.
But that is I like that a lot, actually. And that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, wow. I thought that was a good one.
That's really good. Thank you, Mari, for that.
So thank you, Mari, for that email and also for your sacrifice. The wilderness respects your sacrifice.
Thank you.
This next email comes in from Andy. Andy writes, what's up, Streaming Things crew? I am such a huge fan of the show and recently binged YELLOWJACKETS and was so stoked to see that you guys were covering it. So stoked. I've been eating up all the episodes. Thank you so much for doing what you do. I am curious if anyone has pointed out to you guys something relating to the girl who stands over and looks into the pit in the pilot's opening scene. I think just because I was binging it is the only reason why I noticed this. But in one of the early episodes of the first season, you can see Van wearing a blue shirt that says Co-ed Naked Soccer. We talked about that shirt.
We did. And I want to say we talked about it in relation to this scene.
I saw it and was like, oh shit, that's the girl who looks into the pit, right? Mm-hmm. I've been so focused on spotting those damn pink Converse. Oh, the email opened with that. Who knows if it's actually Van? Someone could have had the same shirt, or they trade clothes at certain points, as teens are known to do. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure it was Van. Pic attached for proof. It is pretty convincing that I could see that being Van.
I think so. I mean, she is wearing the face covering. I mean, not that has been a prevalent thing recently, but she has worn a face covering in the past to hide her face. But yeah, I mean, I think we've discussed that, they are wearing each other's clothing. So it's kind of hard to say that is exactly that person based off of the shirt that she's wearing. Mm-hmm. The pink Converse conversation has been up in the air because nobody's been wearing them. Yeah. Except there is a scene in the season 2 trailer where somebody is tied up on sticks and that person is wearing pink Converse, I think. Mm-hmm. So
I think was it us that were talking about that we thought that was Ty that they had tied up.
Oh.
Because she was wearing the same jacket that Ty is wearing in a different shot in the trailer.
I don't know.
We'll see. Come to find out.
Yeah, but it's
TBD.
What I will say is I have watched a lot of videos of the producers of the show and them kind of talking about scenes and breaking them down. The whole opening sequence where they're all sitting around the fire and we see Misty come in to like do a close-up frame and it's like it is Misty's face. Mm-hmm. All of the other actors that are in costume are none of the original cast. So not even the cast members know who is who. Like who's dressed in the Antler Queen
I see what you're saying.
Facade. Like nobody knows who those people are. And I think if you look closely at those people, you can tell that it's not anybody from the cast. Yeah. So I think we're just as in the dark as the cast is with who is doing that. But I can definitely see Van being a part of, chasing and hunting and doing all that stuff. So I think it's a pretty plausible explanation for Van to be the person looking into the pit.
Yeah. No, I agree. I thought that was good. I appreciated the adding screen grabs as well. Mm-hmm. That was nice because some people be like, "This is the scene where Jackie's jacket was discussed," and it's like that's not in there. I'm sorry.
No. Well, no, it's Chris's jacket.
Yeah, it's Chris's jacket. Yeah. Next time he better wear that next time.
I know. That's so sick that he got one.
Yeah. So this next email, it's pretty long.
Okay.
But I think it's great. And I actually did try to pare it down some, but it's still pretty long.
Okay.
This comes from Brady. Brady writes, "Hey, Madison, Chris, and Steve. Brady here, returning once again since Stranger Things Season 4 to give my theory on what might be happening in Yellow Jackets. I hate to sound like a broken record, but I think we are once again dealing with a Lovecraftian-like entity in the show, one by Robert William Chambers." For some context, he wrote in about Stranger Things Season 4 about a Lovecraftian style theory. They continue, "I have been trying to view this as witchcraft, and it very well may be a demon or something, and Lottie is some kind of Sabrina the Teenage Witch of the Wood. Mm-hmm. But with this recent episode, and considering what we've seen in previous episodes, my theory is such. This show may be a modern adaptation or influenced by an elder god known as Hastur of the Yellow Sign. Immediately, I think you will know why when you see the symbol." Now, he has included the symbol. It is yellow. They go on. In his novel, Chambers never really describes the shape and purpose of it, so it can be adopted more loosely, but whoever sees the symbol has doom inflicted upon them and makes them susceptible to mind control and possession. The original book's cover showed an inverted burning torch almost to ascribe a downward spiral. Like Natalie said to Misty, they're all like this. Shauna and Taissa, they're all cursed. Though there are striking differences, there are also some similarities to the Yellow Jackets rune. Which I think that's fair. Like
I think so.
Obviously, those are different, but you can see some sort of similarity there, right?
They have a similar likeness of, I see what he means,
Brady continues, "I think the one in Yellow Jackets is pretty straightforward by now, being about sacrificing yourself / your fellow devotees / cultists in the name of an otherworldly entity greater than yourself. They are used for protection as long as you provide blood sacrifice. Once the entity was summoned to that place in the wilderness, it seemed to be maintained. If no one existed for it to control, it could not escape. When the girls crashed there," and this is where it gets really juicy, "when the girls crashed there, I do think they may have died, and the amount of souls sacrificed in that moment there on its grounds was enough to give it power again and to give the girls some of their lives back. But a piece of their souls is forever going to be a part of that entity which they refer to as it." Ironically enough, with the Stephen King nods throughout. "We call it the Antler Queen, but it could have gone by many names over its existence. The Antler Queen entity rules over a dream world where the fractured pieces of the girls' souls are seen, and anyone else who has died there, like the Frenchman in the cabin. Lottie somehow physically ate food in that world, but could not find warmth, possibly because her body was not in a warm place when her consciousness visited. But for the most devout, the entity can provide. It can also take away." And this is where, and I've kind of pared this down, but he kind of mentions how Shauna's vision of the baby, because Shauna is the least devout of all of them.
Yeah.
the entity decided to take her baby, but was showing her like, if you were devout, you could have had a life if you like had just merely played along with everybody else and played ball. And what could have been essentially. Brady continues, love you all. Brady, trans lives matter. That they do. P.S. Chris, your nails always look fire. Steve, with all due respect, you have such a good face to plant my ass on. I don't know if is that a compliment? I hope so.
A compliment,
if it is, sir, buckle up. Or madam, I don't know. Madison, your laugh, smile, reactions to wild things Chris says are priceless. Love the YouTube content. Thank you, Brady, for writing that.
Thank you so much.
That's a great, I wanted to read that because, Brady continued and had a lot of great points, but that was like the most succinct way I could kind of put it.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really, really good explanation for everything.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I never really thought about it in terms of in that depth of unpacking it, I guess. Like I'm not too familiar with that trope of storyline. Like
elder gods. And
yeah. So it's
Cthulhu-esque.
Yes, but I think it's very interesting how it all ties in with what has happened and where it can go. No, I think that's really, really interesting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks to everyone who wrote in. A lot of people have written into us over the last week. If we didn't read your email, it's not because they weren't bad. It's just because we only have so much time. But I am going to try to get back in there and respond to some of your emails because some of them are very, very good and heartwarming and touching. And thank you so much for writing. If you would like to write an email to us, you can by writing to streamingthingspod@gmail.com. We read all of them. Please, if you want to look at into any of our merch, we got them here. You want a yellow jacket? You want a yellow jacket shirt? Look into the show notes. We will have a link to our merch store there. Madison, is there any other things you'd like to plug or say before we go for today?
I don't think so. I'm really excited for the next episode, episode 7. I'm sure they'll be sending out clues here soon this following week. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
Oh, real quick, there is one last thing.
Okay.
There are a couple last things. If you like what we do here and you want to throw us some cash, you can do so at patreon.com/streamingthings.
We'll shake our ass.
We'll shake our ass a little bit. I mean, Brady's already wanting me to sit on his face. Or he's going to sit on my face. Sorry. No demand is too high for me. But something came to my attention this week, Madison, and it involves you.
Me?
Yes, because we're about to do the outro.
Okay.
The signature Streaming Things outro. What does Chris say when we leave the show? What's the very last thing he always says? Happy streaming.
Happy streaming.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, our podcast historian, Rabid Dog in a Barbie Car on Discord, which if you want to be a member of Discord, sign up on the Patreon. But she has been going back and listening to all of our old episodes and kind of finding out where, longstanding jokes originated and all that stuff.
Sure.
She discovered that the very first instance of anyone saying happy streaming as a sign-off was you.
Was me?
Yes.
Shut up, for real?
Yeah, and I wanted to give you your flowers on air because I had forgotten about it. Chris clearly has forgotten about it because what happened is a couple years ago, we were doing an Oscars episode.
Oh, that's
where
right.
we were cold calling people and asking them who they thought was going to win the Oscars. And you were one of the people we called.
Which I do remember that. And I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was plastered when you called me. I was so drunk when you called me, which I don't know if that adds more to the happy streaming bit.
Oh, that makes it so much better.
But
well, that was before you were ever like officially on as a guest, right? Was that
the first time I was on was Black Widow.
So would that have been before Black Widow?
I think it was after. Actually.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
I could be wrong.
It was fairly early on.
Yes, it was very early. If I had been on the show, it was only one time before.
Yeah, but you said like we were signing off. We thanked you for giving us your Oscar picks, and you're like, happy streaming. And Chris goes, that's good. I'm going to steal it.
Wow.
And steal it he did.
Yeah, give me some of those royalties. Toss them over.
So I wanted to make sure you got your just desserts for coming up with the show's signature sign-off.
Well, thank you.
And I wanted to give you the opportunity to sign off with the catchphrase you invented.
Okay. A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. Can you do it?
My name is Madison.
And I'm Steve.
Happy streaming.
It's gonna be May. And in this month of May, we want to give a special shout out to the patrons that are brand new to the Stream Fiends family. This first person isn't brand new, but they have upgraded their tier to the highest possible tier, and that is the K-Stu patron saint of Streaming Things, and that is none other than Will Nash. Thank you, Will, for your patronage. In the Try Before You Deny producers tier, we want to welcome Alan Tomlinson. Hello, Alan. Thanks for joining. In the Marty B VIP producers tier, we want to thank Christian Louise, Kate Russell, Gabriella Balin, and Rachel B. Thank you all so much for being in the Nina with Dr. Marty B. In the Chocolate Pudding producer section, we want to welcome Alyssa Haley, Karis Brister, Echo Romeo Oscar, Jason Richards, Harry and Charmaine, Chelsea Agunde, Nomad Props, David Gauthier, probably mispronouncing all of these, Christian Pancal, Kelly Camp, Nathan Fisher, Izzy Drawing Wolf, and Mary Phillips. Thank you all for joining the Chocolate Pudding tier. Hope you enjoy this bonus episodes. And in the Friends Don't Lie producer section, we want to thank Serena Singh, K.L. Morton, Tony T. Is that Tony time? We'll never know. Ronan, and Mike Oxlong. Thank you all so much for keeping the lights on over here at Streaming Things. We love you so much dearly, and we appreciate your patronage so much in this month of May.